Treaty of Berlin was called by Otto von Bismarck, who at the time was currently the Chancellor of Germany. This treaty was called, as previously, in 1878, King Leopold II of Belgium began attempting to colonize the continent of Africa. He set up his base in the Congo and began to expand outwards, hoping to accomplish his imperialistic goals as well as gain more land and resources out of the continent of Africa. However, French spies quickly discovered out his plans, and they began attempting to gather as much resources as they could out of Africa. Shortly after, other countries began to take an interest in the continent, such as Germany. Germany began launching aggressive expeditions throughout Africa, something that startled the rest of Europe. Tensions began to rise, and in order to reduce these tensions, King Leopold II convinced the rest of Europe that the colonization of Africa and using it as a trade base was in all of Europe's favor. Because of this, the Congress of Berlin was called, which would eventually lead to the Treaty of Berlin. This treaty stated a multitude of things. In general, it put up general borders where countries were allowed to reside in Africa, as well as stating that all slavery within this continent must come to an end. However, having these borders were not good enough. To have claim to the land you resided on, you must either have a treaty with the current tribal ruler of this land, or have your flag flying on the ground. It also stated the countries that were allowed to participate in the scramble for Africa. These countries were Germany, Britain, France, Belgium, as well as various others. Because of the relatively undefined borders of Africa, these countries began scrambling to claim a territory in Africa. Oftentimes, this would or could lead to war among the nations in Africa. Within years, much of Africa was held by nations in Europe.